got some guys coming over to help me get the boat off the trailer upside down so I can take a look at the underside of the hull and get some more urethane on it, and hopefully find that there's no repairs needed. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to plow first. Go ahead and fasten some protective trailer carpet strips.
Do we want to spin it because it's going in that way first? Spin it off on the trailer?
I'm thinking we'll spin it once it's up and turned over. All right, guys, thank you. We missed the video of the boat flipping and getting it off the trailer, but obviously it made it. No. The good news is I do not see any scary signs of water seal failing. I need one more bank of lights over in this area. We get shade, and more this is the main work area of the shop. Been a little while since I've been in electric zone. So there's the main shop lights, and then the finish area plus the new rack. I'm happy with that. I was able to take off some black tarry dock rash, I think, and some of this stuff, like one of those actually came off. Look at that. But this is, I think, a wear pattern for the tarp grommet, smacking on there going down the freeway, and I think it's just eroded into the finish and then collects some dirt. So if we just, hopefully if we clean it and refinish, we're good to go for another 10 years. It's with 180, and looking for anything that might need special attention, like this area where I did a patch with glass and epoxy, and obviously didn't sand it down very well. It was on the trailer. This is where the old 1/4-inch rope style tie down was breaking through the fiberglass layer, and I replaced that with the nice straps. That seems to have held up, so I'll need to get the finish sander on that. 1/2. So far, I don't think I see anything worthy of re-epoxy. I did find one epoxy spot, I think. I've found the hard way that feathering epoxy on top of urethane back into urethane is really difficult. The epoxy is always thicker, different texture, harder, and so, you know, getting a really clean feathering edge, and I don't feel like taking this down to the wood and putting new little bits of glass in there. So I think just having a clear, neat boundary, and this guy looks like he got a little ding there against a dock at some point, so we'll just put a couple of dots of 15-minute epoxy in there. Stuff doesn't ever appear to set up as nicely and hard as the Boat Builder's epoxy from West Systems, but was it easier just to do these tiny little bits. Putty in there. Temps are supposed to come up over the next 2 days within the zone of being able to urethane. What I'm going to do is tack this guy down with mineral spirits. Beautiful temps coming up into the upper 60s here this afternoon, and sustaining and maybe even higher tomorrow. So I think that's going to be my window to get some urethane on. That'll cure. I don't like getting drips down inside the daggerboard trunk. Learned the hard way. You end up getting those drips turning into wear points as the board goes in and out. Although there's a lot of wear on the little rub rail here, if I build another one of these, I might do a quarter round just to beef out the impact zone on this. So there are some spots I'd like to refinish, but I think I'd prefer to do that right side up. All right, temps are showing 65 and should be on their way up. I think that's in the good enough zone. I always find it a challenge to get a decent urethane coat, needing to combine good flow without getting any drips, runs, and sags. And one of the things I realized this time is I try to be very careful with the rolling pass, making sure I've got complete coverage there, spreading it out as well as I can, and then coming back, cross strokes, and finally stroking out, and that seemed to work. Don't need runs over there yet. One of the other challenges with urethane coats on a sizable surface like the bottom of this boat is keeping a wet edge in the areas you're doing. So I chose to break it at the keelson and at the chine. By the time we come back, say below the chine, it could be a little tacky. So it worked out okay, that little 1/4 inch inlay there between the bottom and the side. I just made sure that it was wet in its entirety from the top pass. I could come back without worrying about the bottom of the hull having become tacky by the time I was onto the side. Red-winged blackbird. If that's not a sign of spring getting close, here in Ohio, nothing is. The bees are active too. I'm almost never happy with a finished job, but I'm pretty happy with that coat. I don't find any misses, and the only sag run was right here up on top. I was worried about the sides more, and I got it while it was still soft and just kind of smashed it down with my finger. Way too late to try to recoat it. So I think what I'd like to do is do a light scuff with maybe 220 so I can see where I've been and give it a little bit of tooth and hope to not get a bunch of sags, but so far so good. So far, I am cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I'm going to call this acceptable. My faithful friends say they'll come over and reverse the process here. I think we got the path cleared. Now it's rain. It was 6 inches of snow when we went the other way. I think we'll be able to set it down and kind of roll it over in the ground much easier, and then slide it onto the trailer on the car.
Yeah.
Somehow that disappeared.
It was just in the finish, probably.
Talking about this discoloration that I had noticed last year and thought maybe was a miss on caulking, probably was, but why did that go away now?
But that makes no sense to me, because it's clearly from water intrusion from this joint and the lack of caulking inside there.
Yeah.
So it would have to have gotten completely up above the epoxy glass layer under the urethane to have been addressed by me sanding. So it's now a mystery again. So, but I'll take it.
It's a miracle. And we're not flipping it or anything.
We're gonna take it upside down all the way out into the grass, and then I'm thinking to flip it, we can actually just set one side down on the grass.
Okay.
And roll it over and then pick it up.
Oh,
Okay.
Table there.
That's it. Well, thank you guys so much. I totally appreciate it. All right. All right, back on my last trip up to Lake Erie. You might have seen where I noticed this was cracking. Not a great design. It sits out from the trailer because there's this folding mechanism, and this brace would have handled that corner, it looks like, but it's really the weakening provided by the bolt holes. Same deal here. Couple of possible mitigations. I thought about a third bolt up through higher in the frame. Rather not do that, I guess. I do have this plate of steel, and as Doug Jackson's been telling me off and on since I've known him, you need to learn to weld, so I've got a friend who may let me take a crack at this. Basically double up the thickness across that weakness. Check this out. My first weld. Something like that.
Yep.
Does that look enough material?
Yeah, keep rolling. You're doing good. Good.
Good enough, and it's not going to be ultra visible, and it was my first chance to see what that's like. So I got to re-drill those holes and repaint the assemblies, and then we can put the fenders back on. Gloss Rust-Oleum. We'll see how that goes off. There we go. Let's see. Substituted 1 inch for the 3/4, and the only thing they had was stainless. Suppose it can't hurt. All right, I managed to get one nut started up in there, but nowhere to really do a ratchet. All right, here's hoping that handles it for the duration.